This broadcast is brought to you by the following community supporters.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Found in Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive. Nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of historical local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. UVA Health Culpeper Medical Center is here to care for you and your loved ones. Our high-quality primary and specialty care locations right here in our community. Visit uvahealth.com for more information.
All right, well, from Courtland High School, welcome to tonight's broadcast of high school football as the visiting Blue Devils will be taking on the Courtland Cougars. And when we think of Courtland, the last few years we've been thinking about this blue field. It's a thing of really pretty and it kind of stands out. So I think you'll enjoy tonight's broadcast. Hopefully the Blue Devils can try to figure out a way to get into the win column. We'll find out. I'm Mark O'Connell alongside Steve Peacock, Johnny Krawchuk behind the camera as always. Steve, welcome aboard. When I think of Courtland, I think of the wing T.
Yes, I do. Same thing, Mark. I do too, and they run it to perfection. It's been a long time staple, Coach Hall, and the kids know it well. And for Culpeper, they've got to find the football. I know they're 0-3. They've been beset by injuries. With 8 potential players not even suited up for tonight. So it's going to be a rough road here for the Blue Devils. But what they're going to have to do is just keep everything in front of them, find the football, no turnovers, and try to make it the game. And let your defense try to, get some turnovers. And your offense is going to have to be clicking. So, but with the injuries, it's going to be a tough road. But we'll see what's going to happen.
All right, so Blue Devils coming in tonight 0-4. They lost the season opener Eastern View in the Cannonball Classic. Then they lost to Orange County 18-8. They lost to Falk here. In fact, that was the last time we saw them, Steve, a couple weeks ago at Broman Field, and in a game that had a lightning delay, and then it ended in abbreviated fashion as well. The final score was 55-35. Then last week, the Blue Devils lost to Liberty 55-7, and now I don't think things get really that much easier for them here tonight against Courtland.
No, I mean Courtland comes in 2-1. They're a veteran team. They've got some good players, and they're going to play. They're going to come to the football and defense, and they're going to run that wing T. And they're going to run it right at you. But just where you think you've stopped in the run against Courtland, they're going to sneak in a pass.
Well,
so
Blue Devil and Courtland team captains right here discussing tonight's game and getting ready for the coin toss. You see a couple of the players there with the Blue Devils not dressed out. 20 is Brendan Stover, and 34 is Riley Vineyard. They're two of several, well, really maybe multiple players not suited up tonight. Steve alluded to that. Blue Devils won the toss and have opted to receive tonight's kickoff. Steve, one of the things we noticed as we were preparing for tonight's game, looking along the Blue Devils sideline, and we had some confirmation about it, the number of people that are not suited up to play tonight for Culpeper.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising. And they had four concussion protocols. I see 2 of them are back out here today playing tonight. 3, Caleb Green, and the other one is Jakari Edwards, so he's out here. But they have some injuries. And, but, hey, you can't use that as an excuse. It's always a next man up mentality. And so we'll see what Culpeper can do.
And, I was just thinking, it is a next man up mentality, but that only works if there is a next man to come up.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm
well, you know what?
I'm looking over here. I mean, But I look at Courtland, and it looks like they're pretty evenly matched as far as personnel, number of personnel. It's not like looking across and finding Easterview with 70 kids out there on that sideline.
Yeah, I think when I looked at Courtland, I think I counted 35 players when they were.
Yep.
But they're, like you say, a quality team. Well, teeing it up for Courtland tonight is the kicker, Chris Salazar. And you're looking at the Courtland Cougars, the home team here on their blue field, decked out in mostly gray and the blue helmets. And here is Salazar's kick, keeps it on the ground. We are underway at Courtland High School. This one picked up. And the return man there is Williams across the 30 and out to about the 35. Across the 35 to the 36. To Steve, we'll see the Blue Devil offense starting things here tonight. That was, let's see, number 23 we said for Culpeper was the return man.
Yep. Keyshawn Tyler.
I've got Tennessee Norman on my roster, number 20. In any event, we're going to take a look at this Blue Devil offense starting things tonight from row 36. So field position is always important. I know you'll agree with that. And last week, I mean, when we saw Culpeper last, field position was certainly not something that smiled favorably upon them that
No,
night.
you're right. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to react coming out here on the gate with first offensive series.
All right. Well, Jeremiah Johnson is the quarterback. Under center, he is. Blue Devil team certainly hungry for a win this season. All right, here's Johnson on first down. Swings it out to Caleb Green. And Green out to about the 38-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 2 yards. Brings up 2nd and 8 for Culpeper.
Well, I see what Culpeper is going to try to do. Coach Sherry Company is going to try to use Courtland's aggressiveness against them by, throwing out little side screens or little wheel routes to the up back. But again, play action I think is going to work very good here against Courtland because they're playing the flex mode, but they can throw out of it and use a little bit of play action, see if you can keep those linebackers occupied.
2nd and 8. And now the Blue Devils shift on offense with their alignment. Johnson under center, handoff. This is going to be Riley Lentz, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Back to the original line of scrimmage.
Number 1, Lentz on the carry.
And it looks like it was big number 74, I believe, or 72. Evan Holmberg, the tackler.
Yeah, that play just
Make my mistake, Steve. Number 71, Emmanuel Smith.
What's going to happen here, though, Culpeper right there again, slow start. And somebody missed their block up front, is able for penetration of Courtland to get in there and disrupt that play.
And what happens with that is it takes them back to the original line of scrimmage and a 3rd and long for them. Certainly not something they were aiming for, but let's see what they draw up here on 3rd down. Johnson under center. Cougars showing pressure, showing the blitz. Here they come, and they're going to get Johnson down inside the 30-yard line. And it was making the tackle for the sack, number 4, Justin Aponte.
And, I hate to, single out players, but there's a couple injuries on that offensive line, and you just saw it right there. Courtland blew up the Culpeper line. Jeremiah Johnson didn't have a chance because he missed the block was Cameron Marduz, it looks like, and they just went right through him and disrupted that whole play.
All right, camera left here. Let's see, the punter going to be standing near his 15-yard line. Good snap. Going to keep it. Going to run. Let's see, 25, 30. Got to get to the 46, 40, 45. He's got a first down, and he's knocked out of bounds inside Courtland territory, Steve. Gutsy play on 4th down and 18.
Marcus, looks like Marcus Ecom, 28 for Culpeper. I was getting ready to say, what are you doing a fake punt on the first series? There's a flag down over here. See what the...
Well, it's over there in the direction of the Courtland. It may be against Culpeper, but let's see how that
because it could negate the first down. Because it's a spot.
Was that unsportsmanlike?
Yep.
Well, that's going to be a big penalty to assess against the Blue Devils. Steve, while they do that, let me tell the audience that our broadcast is brought to you in part by Found & Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. Found & Sons, 825-3530. All right, let's check the call, Steve. What?
It's unsportsmanlike. It's a 15-yard penalty. Now, but they still keep the first down.
Interesting, because then now okay, so that's good. It just, all right, so here's the thing.
Because
The
it was a dead ball foul.
Right, the original line of scrimmage was the 36, and then they eventually looked at a 4th and 18. The fake punt works, but then on the penalty flag, after they mark it, the ball's at the 38. So all that, and the Blue Devils, rather than have it at 1st and 10 from the 36, originally they have it 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line.
I mean, I was getting ready to say, what are you doing fake punting here? But I guess Coach Sherry wants to see if he can mix it up.
All right, here's a handoff to J.Q. Williams, and looks like he may have lost a couple yards on the play. He's going to bring up 2nd and long. This broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. All right, well, this is the first quarter, clock running, just under 9 minutes to play. And first possession of the game belongs to the Blue Devils because they received the opening kickoff, took over on their own 36. They now have it at the 36 once more. Here's the toss. And this is Riley Lentz, and he has nowhere to go as well. In fact, back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And making the tackle for Courtland was number 6, Adam Meek.
And, you know, Mark, really what also Culpeper suffers from is speed.
Right.
They just don't have that explosive back that can get a good first burst of speed when getting the ball, and that's what's happening right now. So, if I was Coach Sherry, knowing that, that's when you're going to have to use some screen plays and maybe, little quick outs and stuff like that, because it's going to be a hard road to run up the middle against this Cougar defense.
All right, Johnson under center. Direct some of his players in the shift here. 2 receivers top of your screen, 1 at the bottom. Johnson, punt fake. Here comes the pressure, and they drop him for a loss. 2nd sack of the game, and this is courtesy of number 2, Christian Olivella, and now a 4th and long, and I doubt that Marcus Ahikam will try a fake, but you never know.
You never know, but again, I wouldn't do it down here now. But again, what I said, Mark, earlier, it's the line of scrimmage. Who controls? I've always said this: whoever controls the line of scrimmage is going to win the football game. Well, right now in the first quarter, Courtland's is dominating the line of scrimmage.
Well, moments ago, the Blue Devils had it 4th and 18 and went for it, and now this time it's 4th and 19, and they punt this one away. This one takes a nice Blue Devil roll, and it's going to go out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line. We'll see Courtland on offense for the first time. No score here with 7:11 to play in the first quarter. We are at Courtland High School in Spotsylvania County, and this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. And, of course, we are live, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air. Answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. All right, 7:11 to play, first quarter action, and we're seeing Courtland's offense for the first time tonight, and the Cougars will take over on their own 29. Handoff. Lead back, got across the 30 to the 31, 2-yard pickup, and that was number 2 for Courtland, Christian Olivella. And Steve, as we can, we'll try to pick up those Blue Devil defensive starters.
Well, number 4 made the tackle, and that's Jack Lehman. He made the tackle on that play. And again, let's see in the middle who's looks like big 66, Cameron Dotson.
Right.
Yep.
66 in there. J.Q. Williams playing that right linebacker there. Handoff again, straight up the middle, trying to bounce it to the outside. Gets to the 40. Nice pickup by the running back, about 8 yards there, and that was number 22 of Courtland. I believe. It seems hard to pick up some of those numbers.
Yep.
No, they're saying it was
2 runs for 8 yards. That's a
Marcus LaRue.
First down.
Up to the 41. 1st and 10, Courtland.
And let's see if Culpeper can get some penetration here, because Courtland does a lot of faking with that football. They got to follow it.
Well, we're talking about a wing T formation when we talk about the Courtland Cougars. Quarterback here is Charlie Aiken. Rolls to his right, throws And he's got a receiver out in Blue Devil territory just inside the 45-yard line. And that was caught by number 9, Jamison Aiken. So I'm going to guess brothers.
Yep, I would think, but is there a flag on the play?
Completed pass from Charlie Aiken.
It is complete.
Charlie Aiken to Jamison Aiken.
Okay. So it looks like it's going to be good enough for the first down.
And it looks like they're marking off a penalty here too as well, Steve.
Yep, let's see the call.
This is going to be a big one.
Yeah.
5-yard, let's see, here it comes. 5-yard penalty, so one thing, but this penalty flag way back in the.
Well, it's a personal foul. Again, if it's an unsportsmanlike, Culpeper needs to cut that stuff out.
With the completed pass plus the personal
hold
foul.
it.
That's good for Courtland.
Well, that was roughing the
Pass
passer.
it.
Yep. So roughing the passer, tacks on the personal foul, and he
Yep.
had a nice reception to begin with. And
Yep.
then you tack that on, and Courtland in business here. Running back near side makes a cut, and that is number 2, Christian Olivella.
And you're going to see a lot of him, Mark, running that football. And again, Courtland just wants to exert its will on opposing teams, and that's what they're doing right now to Culpeper.
Clock running, 6 minutes to play. First quarter action. So far we're scoreless, but obviously Courtland knocking on the door here. They have it 1st and 10 at the Culpeper 13-yard line. The quarterback is Aiken, Charlie Aiken, number 12, under center. On first down, man in motion. They give it to him. And number 23 here, the ball carrier is Laquan Chu.
Flag on the play.
And another flag on the play as well. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by UVA Health, Culpeper Medical Center. Here to care for you and your loved ones at our quality primary and specialty care locations right here in our community. Learn more at uvahealth.com. Holding penalty against Courtland.
Yep, knock him back. Culpeper's going to accept it. I know that.
This was a drive for the Cougars that began on their own 29-yard line. They had moved it down to the Culpeper 13, and then a moment ago, the penalty flag comes in, holding against the Cougars. So let's see where they mark this one. It's going to be back to the 22.
So that's 10-yard penalty. Now see if Culpeper can capitalize on this. You know, when they got to force some mistakes. They've got to out hustle, and they got to be the most, in order to stay up here with Courtland.
Charlie Aiken, quarterback, hands off over this left tackle. There goes your running back, and he's headed to the end zone. It's number 10, Don Morello, from 22 yards out. Touchdown, Courtland. Cougars on top, 6-0 with 5:21 to play, but there is a penalty flag on the field.
And I wonder if it could be, where's the call? It looks like it's going to be against Courtland, holding.
Well, that would bring that one back, wouldn't it?
Yep.
That run will be coming back. That's holding on Courtland.
A good break for the Blue Devils.
Is that back-to-back holding
Yep.
calls against Courtland? How about that?
Yep. It looked like it happened about the 19-yard line where the flag is.
All right, as they mark this one off, we'll tell you this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center. The service, knowledge, and products you need for your farm, home, pets, livestock, and equine since 1932. That's CFC Farm and Home Center.
First and long for the Cougars. Ball's on the 29-yard line.
Now the ball is at the 29-yard line. And according to the scoreboard keeper, it's 1st and 26 from that spot.
Looks like it'll be timeout.
All right, well, our timeout sponsor this season is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial wellness of our members and the Culpeper community. UVACreditUnion.org. And Steve, 5:14 to play. Both teams have had the ball once. Well, actually, Culpeper's had it twice. And on a 4th down and 18, they had a fake punt. It worked. Then they had the penalty. They went back to a 4th and 19 and punted. And Marcus Ahikam and his teammates were the beneficiaries of a good Blue Devil roll. Courtland started this drive with their own 29. Why do you think they've been able to get into Culpeper territory? And I'm going to the holding penalties that hurt them, but they did move the ball down the field.
Yeah, they're moving the ball. They're moving it because of the formation of wing T. You've got to find the football. A lot of misdirection. The second thing, or most important, I think, is the line of scrimmage. The offensive line is dominating again. Culpeper's got to have that mentality, the will to win, and to really be aggressive. And I haven't seen it.
All right, Courtland has it on its own 29-yard line after the timeout. It's 1st and 26. Again, this is Morello, and this looks like a replay, Steve. Except that it isn't. It is Don Morello. Is that deja vu all over again? This time from 29 yards out, Morello scores, and thankfully for the Cougars, they don't see any laundry on the field.
Mark, poor tackling, poor execution, arm tackling. I mean, they had a chance to bring him down at the 15, and you cannot arm tackle now. And I'm not going to go on air tonight and use them being down players because of injuries or suspensions or what have you. But you got to get your kids ready to play, and right now Culpeper just doesn't look like they want to play.
Going for the 2-point conversion, and this pass looks like it's incomplete. All right.
And the conversion's no good.
So 6-0 remains our score with 5:05 to play here in the first quarter. This broadcast brought to you in part by K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please at 825-8371. And also, nominations are being accepted for the local area Sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of respectable local sports recognition. Where? At localsportshistory.com/HOF. All right, well, they didn't go for the conventional point after. But the kicker is Chris Salazar, and he's teed it up for the Cougars.
Well, they're saying it's Chris Salazar on the roster, but I don't think that's the one out there. 31 is the kicker, and he's on the sideline.
Man, we must have a replacement kicker that I'm slow to learn about. Maybe that's why they didn't go for the point after them.
Yep.
You got Salazar out of the lineup. This one they keep it on the ground, picked up inside the 30-yard line. J.Q. Williams dragged down at the 35. And that's where the Culpeper offense will set up shop again, this time for the third time here tonight. Steve, they need to put together some sense of some methodical drive.
Yeah, they got to cut down on mistakes, and they got to be able to see. There's Salazar to the left over there, right, the guy in the crutches on the Courtland bench. So I don't know who they got kicking. But getting back to what Culpeper's got to do, Mark, they got to they have to go for it. I mean, what did they got to lose? They've got to have this mentality. We're going to go out here and be aggressive and run our plays and see if they just got to execute better.
All right, from the 35-yard line, Jeremiah Johnson. Here's the toss. This is to number 8, Griffin Tanner. Tanner doesn't find any running room out there as coming up making the tackle. A couple of Cougars on the play, including number 6, Adam Meek, and number 2, Christian Olivella. So no gain brings up 2nd and 10.
And I appreciate that Coach Sherry wants to run the flex bone, but right now, Mark, in my opinion, I've seen enough high school football over the last 27 years, is they just don't have the personnel to run that type of offense. So they, I think they need to go back and do another offense that meets, the team's abilities, but we'll see.
Hand off this time to Williams, who makes a nice move. He juked one defender, got across the 40 out to about the 42. 7-yard pickup brings up a manageable 3rd and 3 for the Blue Devils.
And I'm all for, if you're a coach, you want to put your system in, and I agree with all that. But you also, like I said, got to look at my personnel here. Who's going to fit where and what piece in order to make that offense run. And, again, like I said, it's going to be tough first year. Coach Sherry knew that. And I think we're just seeing right now the Blue Devils growing pains, and plus injuries have caught up with them.
All right, here's 3rd and 3 for the Blue Devils. Johnson under center. Backing up. Here comes the pressure. Gets rid of it. Ball's up in the air. It looks like it's going to be intercepted, and it is. Able to hang on to it. We'll check the defender's number here. That's number 5. Turnover number 1. This one by Jason Lennon. 6'3", 205-pound senior. Number 5 coming up with it. Well, Steve, Jeremiah Johnson never had a chance.
Well, let's go to replay, Mark, and see what happened here. Watch here. He's hiking. The ball snapped. Automatically, the guy at Courtland's already in his face, and he tried to throw that over center screen, and it got tipped, and look what happened. Interception, Courtland. Now Courtland's operating again on their Blue Devil 32-yard line. And I look for them to run that same play they just ran to score.
All right, 3:38 showing on the clock. First quarter action, 6-0 in favor of the Cougars. Back on offense. Handoff straight ahead is the ball carrier, Christian Olivella. And inside the 30 down to about the 26. He picked up, let's check the spot here. We got an injured Courtland Cougar player.
Yeah.
So mark it at about the 26-yard line. He picked up 7. It's going to bring up 2nd and 3.
5 on the run, 2nd and 5 for the Cougars, ball's on the 27-yard line.
All right. Looks like he's going to shake it off. He's got to come off since the official timeout.
Then move it back a little further than I thought. It's at the 27. Make it 2nd and 4. Okay. 3:12, clock ticking, first quarter. Checking in for Courtland there, number 16, Darian Payne. Charlie Aiken is the quarterback. He's under center. In the backfield, Christian Olivella. Man in motion, Darian Payne. All right, Payne gets it inside the 20. And they wrestled him out of bounds at about the 18. And that'll be enough for a first down for the Cougars. In that red zone of Culpeper, Steve, Courtland knocking on the door. But you mentioned different kicker tonight, so they may go for 2 each time.
Yep. Yeah, because I saw the kickers on the sideline over here on the left. But anyway, we just, Courtland, that's where you probably are going to see going for 2. Obviously, if their field goal kicker is on the bench, hurt, nursing an injury. He's got
Jameson Aiken has checked in the game, and he has 1 catch tonight from, brother Charlie Aiken. Charlie Aiken, number 12. He's a senior under center, wing T formation, handoff. Right out of the backfield and bursting back in the end zone. It is Christian Olivella from 18 yards out. And that'll make it 12-0 in favor of the Cougars with 2:16 to play here in the first quarter.
Yep, and that was just too easy, Mark. Just too easy. This could be a long, long night for the Blue Devils here tonight.
Well, you mentioned it before, line of scrimmage. On that particular play, it didn't look like anyone was really close to him.
No, I mean, the blocking was just, nobody's putting any pressure on him, and he's just running right through the gaps, untouched.
On for the 2-point try. And they hand it off this time to Marcus LaRue, and he bowls this way into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good. 14-0 in favor of the Cougars. 2:16 to play, first quarter action. And we mentioned that we are live, our live sponsor, Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Yeah, okay. Well, 14-0 in favor of the Cougars, Steve. They've taken advantage of field position and a turnover. But what's really striking about the Blue Devil offense, not able to get on track, and in the last series and really the last play, Jeremiah Johnson on that interception, just being swarmed and really no time to operate.
Yeah, no time to operate, no time to even, get set up and even get your feet set up before they're, in on you. And I don't know, like I said, it looks like a few of the injuries on the offensive line, but you got to have kids that are willing to stick their head in there and block. And right now, Culpeper they're just not showing anything. They're like going through the motions. And so I hate to see them this way, but it's easy to be a loser. It's hard to be a winner.
All right, here's the kick. Again, squib kick, keep it on the ground. That can be dangerous. Ball loose, and then pouncing on it thoughtfully, if you will, at the 32-yard line was number 4, Jack Lehman.
So we'll see how Culpeper's going to do on offense right here. But they're going to have to it starts up front. You're going to have to keep those guys off the quarterback.
Well, this is about average field position for the night for the Blue Devils, who have stalled on offense so far. Of course, a lot of football here to play at Courtland High School.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if they can get across the 50.
All right, let's see what they can do here on 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Johnson, quick hitter up the middle. This one going nowhere, right at the line of scrimmage, and that's where the ball carrier, Griffin Tanner, is stopped. Several gray shirts in there, including number 6 of Courtland, Adam Meek. He's been in several tackles with the Cougars tonight.
Yeah, but if they're going to run that, they're going to have to sit there and do a trap and trap some of those defensive linemen, because right now it's just too easy. They're just standing up Culpeper's offensive line back into the hole. And so if you want to use that against them, start some trap plays.
Minute 40, clock running, first quarter, 14-0 Courtland. Second down and 9 here. Handoff, and this one nominal gain out to close to the 35, and that is Jakari Edwards, I believe, number 6.
No, 5.
Oh, it's number 5, my mistake. So is Edwards in the line? That's J.Q. Williams.
Yeah, I think he's been in and out. I haven't seen him in on this offensive series, but he's banged up. I know that.
Well, third down and 8, I believe, coming up here for Culpeper.
And I think.
Except that there may be a 5-yard penalty. Oh, it is a chop block.
Oh, okay.
Not a good thing.
That's another big one.
And again, we mentioned not a 5-yard penalty. These are some big penalties being assessed against the Blue Devils.
Yep, and I remember when I played, Mark, we could chop block. You could do any of that stuff. Now you can't. You can't chop block in even at the line of scrimmage or anything like that, because they're looking to enhance player safety, and I get that, but sometimes it takes away from the true meaning of playing football.
Well, a lot of rule changes over the years, right?
Oh yeah, some are good, some are bad.
So the ball now at the 18-yard line. There he is. Second and very long. Jeremiah Johnson. Will he have time? Throws over the middle. This one deflected at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. The Courtland Cougars have already recorded one interception tonight here in the first quarter. And they were looking for another one.
Well, that was, they're just getting up into Jeremiah Johnson's. Throwing is not his strength, and they're just batting it down. He's got to learn to have to either throw it above or throw it out to the side. But I can't believe Culpeper is going to go. Is it fourth down?
No, it's third, I think. And I think they've got.
That's right, because of the penalty.
They've got third down and looks like 24. They've got to get to 42 for a first down, because the original line of scrimmage was the Culpeper 32.
Well, they better dial up a prayer to Hail Mary.
Here comes some pressure showing from Courtland. Third down. Here comes more pressure, and blindsided, really. Johnson never had a chance. Didn't see that one coming. Got rid of the ball. Incomplete pass. And it brings up fourth down.
And Mark, I'm watching here this game.
Third. No, it is fourth.
I'm watching this, and I'm watching the line of scrimmage, and it looks like they're not even getting touched. I mean, I hate to be a negative Nancy here, but you got to block. You got to block or clutch your splits down.
Well, obviously, if you don't, good things will not happen, right?
That's true. And look like Culpeper, they better not fake punt here.
Marcus Hecum from the 5. Let's check this one. This is a short kick, and the roll will at least be somewhat kind to the Blue Devils, as they'll down it at their own 48-yard line. That's where the Courtland Cougars, with 50 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, come back on offense, leading 14-0.
First and 10. Ball's on the Culpeper 49.
All right, Steve, anything going on this weekend in Culpeper that's you'd like to tell our viewing audience about? Because Steve is a man in the know.
I know there's something going on tonight, a fiesta party tonight downtown
Fiesta
Culpeper.
forever?
Fiesta forever. I don't know. But tomorrow, I'm not too up with what's going on tomorrow, because I think it's just going to be everyone's going to be a nasty, rainy day, kind of windy, and I think people are going to be staying indoors.
All right.
Might be a good sleep-in day.
Might be a good day to take some cat naps or something, right? Courtland back on offense. Shorter field to work with. Half of it, to be exact, as Aiken rolls to his right. Plenty of time. Looks downfield, looking for a receiver. Going up for it, making the catch from about the 20-yard line. Let's check the number on that, Steve. It is number 8 of Courtland. That is Keelan Perry.
Gee, that's, again, Mark, the quarterback had no pressure on him. He could stand out there all day and pick receivers. And Culpeper wasn't really covering that good. you don't let the receiver get behind you, and that's exactly what happened.
All the way down to the Blue Devil 13-yard line, a pickup of 36 yards on the pass play. 1st and 10, Cougars. Straight ahead, the handoff is to number 3, Marcus LaRue. Straight ahead, end zone. Courtland's 3rd touchdown of the night. Cougars go up 20-0 with 16.2 seconds showing on that first quarter clock.
And now I'm feeling kind of sorry for the Blue Devils. It just, just night after night after night. Now look how they're lining up. Are they going to kick it?
Well, remember last time they went for the 2-point try. Now they're going to go for it. Now we can pick up that kicker's number. 55, isn't it? Connor Olson. Big guy, 6'3", 220-pound senior. Going to try the point after. The hold, the kick. This one is good. And it doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to clear the crossbar.
It's just got to get between them 2 bars.
21-0 Courtland Cougars. All right. Well, Courtland came in tonight's game. They've already had their bye this week. And they came in with a record of 2 wins against 1 loss. They have beaten North Stafford and Orange County, and they've lost to Louisa so far.
Yeah, but North Stafford is a common opponent next week for Eastern View. Eastern View right now is entertaining Caroline at home, and Eastern View's got North Stafford at home too next week.
So Eastern View has defeated Culpeper County in the season opener. Then we saw them win very big over Westmoreland, and then Brook Point won the games. Probably going to be the game of the season.
Yeah.
As far as entertainment. Well, of course, we don't know what tomorrow could bring, but 34, 33?
Yeah.
And a game won by the Cyclones last week. Now tonight, like you said, they entertain the Caroline Cavaliers. And then they're back at home as Eastern View next week against the Wolverines of North Stafford. Meanwhile, Culpeper here comes into tonight's game with a record of 0-4. They lost to Eastern View. They lost to Orange County. Competitive game at 18-8. And then Falk here was 55-35 in a lightning delayed game and lightning abbreviated game. Then last week they lost big 55-7 to Liberty of Bealton. Tonight they're playing Courtland, and then next week make that long trip to Bowling Green and the location of the site of Caroline High School. All right. Well, we identified the kicker, didn't we, Steve, as number 55, Connor Olson. No relation to Greg, I imagine.
No.
He's in the broadcast booth as one of the top analysts, isn't he?
He sure is.
Played at, I remember him mainly with the Carolina Panthers tight end.
Yep.
And he played at Miami.
University of Miami.
Talking about a tight end that recently retired, had a good career in the NFL. Greg Olson doing the analyst work, I think with, who was his partner, Kevin Burkhardt?
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, one of the top guys in the broadcasting business now as an analyst. Seems to have a lot of fun with that. You know, those guys must really do a lot of work during the week to know so much.
Oh, yeah, they got to do research and
players and
interviews.
Like you can spend the whole week probably just dedicated to it. It'd be amazing what you would learn.
Yeah, exactly. Preparation and, it's all orchestrated, timed right down to the minute.
One of the things Joe Buck says is, with the internet, when he's calling a game, he's always got the availability to the internet. So it's not, it's not like you have to do here's the ball is loose. This one, Courtland's going to pounce on it. And Steve, I just thought that looked a little bit too lackadaisical.
Yes, I agree with you, Mark. There was no effort there. That's going to be Courtland football. I mean, if I was Coach Sherry, I'd be sitting there going, boys, if you don't want to play, let's just pack up right now and go home. I mean, that's exactly what's going on. I don't know, but, they weren't even trying to pick the ball up. Or they got to know that after 10 yards, that was a
ball is live. It's anyone's ball, and not just Courtland. Their kickoff team, of course, did a good job recovering here, again, deep in Culpeper territory. Now, the Cougars already lead 21-0, and with 14 seconds remaining here in this first quarter, the Blue Devils obviously have a lot to overcome if they're going to try to be competitive in this football game.
Right. I mean, it could be right here again, 21-0 before the first quarter is over.
Why did they award the ball to Culpeper?
I guess, I don't know. Coach is sitting there looking, what the heck? I thought I guess they got knocked out of bounds.
So if it went out of bounds, no one ever had possession,
So
and it
it's
goes to the
Culpeper ball.
receiving team. All right. Looks like one of the teams has called a timeout with 14.3
Because I think the
seconds
coach
showing.
wants a clarification. Did it go out? And so we can't use instant replay. Wish we could. We can go to replay, but
Did it look to you like the ball had went out of bounds?
yeah, I mean, it could have touched the line or something like that. And,
Yeah, and that's all it takes.
yep.
Right.
And-
All right. Well, late here in the first quarter, 21-0 in favor of Courtland. And I was talking about, one of the things about broadcasting is, like Joe Buck says, is that he's got access to the internet too. So, rather than having to do a lot of research where you look up things and have to write them down or whatever, at the click of the mouse, it's
Yeah.
amazing what you can have
Yeah,
access
they
to.
got their iPads and their computers right
yeah,
there.
they still have to do a lot of prep work.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have that feature, isn't it?
Exactly.
Remember what it was like before the internet?
No. You didn't have Telestrator. Oh, yeah, you did before the internet. I sometimes think the world would be better off without it, but
It's amazing the information available
Yeah.
at the click.
yep.
Yeah. All right, ball belongs to Culpeper is the ruling, and the Blue Devils start on their own 26 here. Straight ahead, Jeremiah Johnson, the quarterback, keep all the way. Gave him just a little bit of breathing room there because you know what? Whenever he drops back to pass, the gray jerseys are just swarming.
Yep, they are. I mean, he got, about 4 yards?
Well, they're going to mark it 32, so that's actually 6. Well, there is the sound that signals the end of the first quarter. So we're in one segment into the books where at Courtland High School, it's been all Cougars here in this first one, 21-0 in favor of Courtland. We'll take a break and come back for the start of the second quarter right after this. Stay tuned. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community supporters.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Found in Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive. Nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of historical local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. UVA Health Culpeper Medical Center is here to care for you and your loved ones. Our high-quality primary and specialty care locations right here in our community. Visit uvahealth.com for more information.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast. Second quarter action here. And as you tune back in, Blue Devils look at 3rd and 6 from their 34. And they trail 21-0 here as we start this second quarter. Jeremiah Johnson. Here's a toss to Williams. He's got trouble in the backfield because interior penetration and quick pursuit by the Courtland Cougars, Steve, and J.Q. Williams dropped for a loss back to the 30. And again, he never had a chance either.
He didn't have a chance. It looked like he was trying to halfback pass. Did he look like that to you, Mark, rolling out? Because it looked like he was trying to step back. He was going to throw the ball, which would have been a good call, but he didn't have a chance.
Loss of 5 on the play brings up 4th and 8 for the Blue Devils.
All right.
4th
so,
and 8.
all right. This will mean Marcus Ahikam, the punter, standing at his own 15 right now. And a whistle and stoppage.
Man, could this be against the Blue Devils for movement? Yep, it sure is.
Push him back 5 yards. All right. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. Found & Sons, 825-3530. All right. Line of scrimmage now the 24. All right. I keep him kicking from about the 12. short kick, and it's going to roll dead at the 48. So from the 12 to the 38, 36-yard kick. And once more, Steve, a short field for Courtland Cougars to work with on offense.
But do we have a flag again? Looks like they're stopping.
Well, we did have a whistle and stoppage, that's for sure. Not sure why.
And they're talking to Courtland. Could it be?
Here it is. Ball start again. 5 yards. Will they decline it?
Yeah.
Yes, they will. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right.
mean-
Courtland will say, we'll take the ball at your territory. I believe we said at the 48.
Yeah. In the way Courtland's running. I mean, they could have, made him punt again, but again, why? Because they said they got the ball in good starting position at midfield.
All right. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield, Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. That's Battlefield. All right, opening minutes here of the second quarter. Courtland goes on offense, and the Cougars lead 21-0. And they start at the Blue Devil 48. Here is Aiken, rolls to his right, and he's got a receiver, makes a one-handed catch out there near the 40, then turns upfield, breaks a tackle, makes a cut, still looking for more running room, and finally the Blue Devil white jerseys close in and stop him at the 29-yard line. That is a pickup of 19 yards on the pass play.
What a catch too, Mark. One-handed grab.
That was Keelan Perry, number 8, right.
And I thought he was going to, take it into the end zone, but Blue Devils finally did a good job, like you said, corralling him.
Charlie Aiken this time in the gun. And an empty backfield, rolls left. Throws on the run, incomplete. Intended out there for number 19. That was Jamal Vick.
Yeah, it was right there, Mark. When you're running, throwing like that, you're running and not setting your feet, your ball's going to sail on you, just what it did. So
all right, incomplete pass brings up second down and 10 from the 29. Clock shows 9:48 to play here in the second quarter, where it's been all Cougars up 21-0 over the visiting Blue Devils. Mentioned Charlie Aiken, number 12, as the quarterback. Goes in more of the shotgun formation this time. 2 receivers both ways, right and left. Aiken rolls to his right and tries to get away from the defender who can't. And making the tackle at the 33-yard line was number 53 for Culpeper, and that is Cameron Marduz.
Yeah, and again, that was just because Courtland held the ball. The quarterback didn't have anybody to throw it to. And
all right, lost 2 yards. Brings up, 3rd and 12 here?
Mm-hmm.
Courtland has not been in this position tonight, have they?
No, they haven't. See,
They've really had things their way, wouldn't you say?
yeah, but I think this is going to be 4-down territory for Courtland here anyway.
Well, if you got your starting kicker, Chris Salazar, out, you probably would be thinking 4 downs, wouldn't you?
Yep.
All right. On 3rd and 12.
Being up 21-0 too, so.
A little misdirection in the backfield. They hand it off over the left side, then straight up the field. Well, if you were playing touch football, Steve, he still would have scored. And that is Dom Morello, his second touchdown of the game. And it comes from 31 yards out. Touchdown Cougars. They go up 27-0 with 8:59 to play here in the second.
Mark, he went right through the middle of the line, untouched. Like you said, if it had been flag football or two-hand touch, he still would have scored.
Yep.
So that's just really, demoralizes the Blue Devils right now because they stopped the pass play but then gave up the big run.
Well, Charlie Aiken is the holder. Connor Olson, tonight's kicker. And the ball clears the crossbar. And it's 28-0. 8:59 to play here in the second quarter. Well, if the Blue Devils don't stem this tide soon, we'll be looking at a continuously moving clock in that second half, won't we?
Yep, it'll be quick.
All right, well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. Also, UVA Health Culpeper Medical Center, here to care for you and your loved ones at the quality primary and specialty care locations right here in our community. Learn more at uvahealth.com. All right, so we talked about the Blue Devils in action tonight against the Cougars, and Eastern View entertaining the Caroline Cavaliers. Maybe we'll be able to pass along some scores for you after our halftime report.
Hopefully we can pick
intermission.
up some. But I'm thinking right now, Mark, to me, the district's coming down to 3 teams. Right early in the season, I see Eastern View.
It looks like an onside kick, and Courtland has recovered this one too, if it stands.
It was standing up. They're saying he didn't go 10 yards.
All right. Well, anyway, you were talking about the 3 teams in the district early on that
yeah,
stand
early,
out.
It's King George, Eastern View, and Courtland.
Right.
Chancellor's down. Caroline's improved, but in Spotsylvania's not having the year they thought they would, and JM is weak too. So it's going to come down to a 3 race, and see who can defeat King George.
3-team race: King George, Eastern View, and Courtland. In your assessment, that's a pretty good one.
Yep. It looks like they have to kick it over, or was it offsides? I mean, it was an onside kick.
Well, they're already putting the ball down, so let's see who's got possession. It looks like it's going to be the Blue Devils, the offensive units back out there. Okay. All right, so the ruling is that one of the Courtland players touched the ball before it went 10 yards.
Yep.
Right now, Culpeper has its best field position of the game.
Let's see if they can get
on the Courtland 49, 8:56 to play, second quarter. Courtland 28, Culpeper nothing. Blue Devils back on offense. Here's the toss to J.Q. Williams. Williams makes a cut and gets a few yards on the play, down to about the 46.
Yeah,
Check the spot.
It looks like it's going to be Jakari Edwards is out. I think he's still banged up. He's suited up. I saw him in warm-ups, but I guess, they didn't want to take a chance.
And J.Q. Williams is a good ball carrier, but Jakari Edwards, his absence is pretty noticeable, isn't it?
It sure is.
All right. From this 47 now, here is 2nd down and 8. Man in motion. Damewood, or Riley Lynch, rather. This one doesn't net too much.
Nope.
Johnson straight ahead on a quarterback keep. I'm going to mark it at the 47. No gain. 3rd and 8 right there. All right, clock running. 7:55 to play. Second quarter action. Courtland 28, Culpeper nothing. And again, this is the best field position the Blue Devils have had all night, but they're looking at a 3rd and 8 now from the Courtland 47.
Well, if you're thinking Blue Devils, you're going to go on 4th down here.
Top of your screen is number 2, Garrett Damewood. Jeremiah Johnson, the quarterback, is under center. And making the shift, Dalton and Butler, and now we have a whistle.
See what the call is. Too much time.
All right, delay of game, 5-yard penalty against the Blue Devils.
That makes even their task harder now.
Really does. So it'll be 3rd and 13 from the Culpeper 48. Both teams shift their alignment here. Johnson handing off. No, it's a fake. Oh, it is a reverse, and that didn't go anywhere as the ball carrier there. Caleb Green just smothered Steve in the sea of gray jerseys there.
Because if you don't have any blocking, Mark, you're not going to run the ball. I mean, that's just, that's no rocket science. If you're not blocking, your poor back there, he can't run through 8 people.
Well, maybe a guy like Barry Sanders could. He's pretty special. Anyway, Hall of Famer Barry Sanders.
Yep.
All right, now we have a 4th and 19.
I'm surprised. They're going to watch with fake. They might try to fake it here.
Let's see what they have. It's Marcus Ahikam. He does kick it away. Let's see if he can get a better punt here. This one does take a nice roll again. Well, Ahikam really does get the benefit of the roll, doesn't he, Steve?
Sure does.
All the way down to the Courtland 20-yard line.
That's the bright spot for the Blue Devils so far. Is their punter. Well, I mean, hey, got called like you see it.
Yeah. Well, think about how valuable a punter like Ray Guy was.
Oh, my God.
In the coffin corners.
Coffin corner.
Yeah.
Even having Tress Way right now, the kicker for the Commanders. How about them Commanders? 2-0.
Well, let's check the line of scrimmage here. It looks like it's going to be at the Courtland 20. And 6:10, we're almost at the midway mark here in this second quarter. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, the service, knowledge, and products you need for your farm, home, pets, livestock, and equine since 1932. At CFC Farm and Home Center. All right, Aiken under center. Handoff, running back there, breaks a tackle, or tried to shed a tackle, dragged a tackler out to about the 30-yard line, and a pickup of 10 yards. It looks like a Courtland first down.
Brought down by 53 for Culpeper on that tackle.
All right, that's Cameron Marduz. Is there a penalty flag against Courtland?
It must be, because I don't see any flag, though. The official is...
Well, the offensive huddle is way back there. All right, as they sort this one out, we'll tell you the broadcast is brought to you in part by K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please at 825-8371.
That was a big one. That was unsportsmanlike conduct.
All the way back to the Courtland 10-yard line, Steve. That is, like you say, a huge one. Let's see, they're going to have to get out to the 29, let's see, 29-yard line for a first down. 35, 30, yeah, to the 29. And the ball now at the 10.
See if Culpeper can get a force a 3-and-out, make him punt.
Well, Courtland deep in their own territory now, really for the first time here tonight. And a complete pass near the 20-yard line and 5 yards after the catch. And that was completed by, or to, Jalen Lackey. They get a little breathing room back and get some of that lost yardage back, don't they?
Yes.
Down to the 25-yard line, pick up a 15 yards. And they've got to get to the 30, looks like the 30, 29 rather, for a first down.
And see, you got a lot of players also, Mark, going two ways. Both ways are getting tired. And it's not even the first half is over yet.
Straight ahead, the ball carrier. Across the 35, still running, dragging tacklers down to about midfield. Well, that'd be a pick of about 25 yards that time for Marcus, or make that Christian Olivella.
Yeah, he got through a lot of arm tackles and before Caleb Green was able to come from behind and wrestle him down. But that's not until Courtland had the first down. You know, remember, they started this drive back at their own 10. And like I said, Culpeper is just giving up big chunks of yardage on that wing T offense. 23
yards to be exact on that last play. 1st and 10 Cougars. Clock running, 4:50 to go here in the second quarter. It's been all Courtland, up 28-0. New set of downs here. Charlie Aiken and company. Running back slipped in the backfield, then taken down on a good solo tackle there by number 66 of Culpeper. That's Cameron Dotson.
That was, like I said, he slipped and kind of just fell down.
It's a no gain, brings up 2nd and 10. And this broadcast brought to you in part by, well, actually just want to tell you that nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of respectful local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF. All right, now 2nd and 10 Cougars from their own 48. Quick strike near side. Breaks one tackle as a receiver down to the Culpeper 40, and that was number 10, Dom Morello. Well, Dom Morello's had a pretty good game for Courtland, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I'm kind of, where was the Culpeper defender? The ball was like thrown. He could intercept it if they just stepped in front. He could have been set sail into the other end zone. That's what I'm talking about, being aggressive or having players that they're not used to playing. They're now playing that position because of injuries and whatnot. But number 12, Jaden Carter, had it if he just stood there and went after it.
Handoff again. This looks like Olivella rather down to the 40. And picked up 5 yards. It'll be another first down for the Courtland Cougars.
And Mark, this reminds me of the old Courtland teams, you know, rushing for first downs, controlling the clock, controlling the line of scrimmage, and Courtland's doing a good job of it tonight.
And, of course, we are live, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. All right, now from the Culpeper 40, go the Courtland Cougars. Back to the run, left side, straight ahead. Breaking the tackle and getting out of the mix, down to the 10, 5, end zone. It is Christian Olivella from 40 yards out. Steve, he got a crease, he went through it, but then he started breaking tackles. It wouldn't go down until he got into the end zone.
He did. And number 15 for Culpeper looks like he's injured on the play.
All right. Did you say number 15?
Looks like it's 15.
All right. Well, that would be.
Let me see if it stands up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dalton Butler.
Yeah, he got landed on by the running back in the end zone, and he maybe got his wind knocked out of him.
You know, I hate to sound cliche, but when you think about the play and then getting stepped on and having the wind knocked out, it's kind of like insult to injury.
It is. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
But it was a tough run, though. Got to give that kid from Courtland credit. He was, breaking tackles, and he was moving his legs. And what was happening is our guys were trying to arm tackle him.
Well, and with this wing tee, look at the game results, the write-up about Courtland beating North Stafford. And, there were so many players who touched the ball. Mm-hmm. Keelan Perry, Christian Olivella, Don Morello, Marcus LaRue, Jamal Vick, all had carries in that game. And, of course, Jalen Lackey, a receiver. We talked about tonight Charlie Aiken, the quarterback, throwing a couple of passes to I would say that would be his brother, Charlie Aiken, to Jamison Aiken. Mm-hmm. But injured player is a Blue Devil, and I think looked like he was going to get to his feet, and he does.
Yeah, I think we got landed on. He's really probably had the wind knocked out of him.
All right, he gets a round of applause, and we mentioned that injured player, or a shaken up player for the Blue Devils, Dalton Butler, a junior, 6 foot, 165 pounder. All right, now on for the point after, up 34-0, with 2:39 to play. The kicker is number 55, Connor Olson, and the holder is quarterback Charlie Aiken. Snap, the hold, the kick. It's long enough, and it's good. All right, 35-0 in favor of the Cougars, Steve. You've got that 35-point differential already in place. Now, Culpeper won the toss and opted to receive. So when we start the second half, Culpeper will be kicking off.
Yep.
And Courtland with their 35-point lead. Although 2:39 to play, anything can happen to cut into that.
Well, listen to this. Let's tell our viewing audience this. Courtland hasn't punted, so on every possession they've had in this first half, they've scored. Isn't it? It should be. Yeah, think about it. Because they have not punted. Now they've given Culpeper, good field position on penalties and everything, but I think it has every possession. I think Courtland scored.
I think you may be right. I have to look through my notes. My memory won't really help me that much because there's a lot to keep up with. But
yeah,
I mean, who is their punter?
Yeah,
we don't know because we haven't seen him.
Haven't seen him because the regular punter is on the sidelines.
And only really once did they have poor or terrible field position when they were back in their 10. They just kind of shook that off.
That's right. You're right. And see, what I'm thinking, Coach Sherry's got a tough task ahead of him, Mark. I feel bad because he's going to have to, keep these boys in the game, keep them from getting demoralized.
This kick received and returned by Jaden Carter. Carter, pretty good return, brings it out to about the 42-yard line, so good field position for Culpeper. Steve, they need, a little excitement injected.
A little laundry on the field. Looks like it's going against Courtland. Could be a face mask. We'll see. That'll help Culpeper get back into the only way they'll get back into Courtland territory is by penalty here. Let's see what the call is.
It almost makes me think of an old song where the lyric was, sure could use a little good news today. I think the Blue Devils could use a little good news.
Yes, they could.
Is there any coming their way? Well, we don't know, but that penalty mark it off and put the Blue Devils in Cougar territory. Back on offense, they'll start at the Courtland 44.
Yeah. It was against Courtland.
All right, let's see what the Blue Devils can do here with Jeremiah Johnson under center. And a whistle and stoppage.
And that might be timeout.
Timeout taken by Culpeper. Well, you know, our timeout sponsor, Steve, is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial wellness of our members and the Culpeper community. That's UVACreditUnion.org.
Well, let's see if Culpeper can capitalize here. They're being across the 50 and see if they can put something together to get on the scoreboard. You know, it's just kind of hard, Mark, watching them. You know, you feel bad for them. And they're doing a pretty good job, on some phases of the game. But today, they're just not into it. They just don't have the line. Their offensive line is not up to caliber, and they're just allowing too much penetration by Courtland on defense, and then turnovers and penalties.
And if you're looking at if you were assessing the Courtland offense tonight, and you already mentioned, look, they scored really, I think, every time they've had the ball. They haven't punted. But the running game, some of these running backs are just, all these huge runs.
Right.
And creases to run through and then breaking tackles. And Blue Devils go this time to number 28. It's Marcus Ahikam in the carry.
He's the punter and the kicker. He's a big kid.
Yeah. Well, really, you think about it, not a bad idea to get a guy like that in the mix, is it?
Now, let me ask you this: Is Culpeper have a first down other than given to him by penalties?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Well, the clock is running. 1:55 to play here in the second quarter. 35-0 Courtland, and Culpeper trying to get a little something going before this first half expires. Johnson runs into his own teammate. He throws. He's got a receiver out there, Griffin Tanner, inside the Courtland 40-yard line.
Yeah.
But short pickup.
Short pickup. And it stops the clock, though. He got him out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's starting to rain,
I think
too.
it was supposed to stop it, but it's still running.
Oh.
Got it to the 38.
Maybe it is a running clock in first.
And 1, 2,
No,
3. Third down and 3.
Running clock only comes after a half.
Right. That's my thinking. Jeremiah Johnson looks over the defense and wants to reset here. Clock continues to run. 1:04 and counting. Second quarter action. 35-0 Courtland. Now we got a whistle, and this may be either a timeout or a penalty.
Penalty looks like delay a game.
It'll cost them 5 yards and push them back to the Courtland 43.
See, that should never happen right there, Mark. That should have been, Blue Devils should have been given the play and execute the play. I mean, trying to play around, moving people, formations in this, you're running the flex bone. Get the ball snapped and get into your running back. This is just right now, it just adds insult to injury. You had a chance to get in the first down. Now look how far you're back.
Now you're looking at a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, when you had, third and 4.
Yeah.
Now that I blame on the coaching staff there.
Now the clock has stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a penalty.
37.7 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock.
Now, if I was Culpeper, I'd be dropping back, going in the shotgun, and just heave the ball. I'd be playing sandlot football. You go here, John.
Who do you want to get it to?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet.
All right.
To Caleb Green, maybe. 3rd
and 9. Here's Johnson rolling back. Pump fake. Now he throws downfield. This one intercepted at the incomplete. No, it is intercepted.
Yep.
At the 35-yard line.
Yep.
It is Courtland's number 4 making the pick, and that is Justin Aponte. I mean, how many turnovers is that tonight for Courtland? 3?
I know. And the official signal is the first down for Courtland. And what's the?
I thought he had an interception.
He did.
Now are they saying incomplete pass or interception?
Incomplete pass.
Well, all right, so no interception. Goes back to 4th and 9 now at the 43-yard line.
Yeah.
And you've got 19.9 seconds to play
See, Courtland's gonna
in this first half.
Yep. He's doing what I suggested. He's dropping back and throwing it up there, but he either got tipped or it didn't get.
Right now, Johnson, they go to the punting formation here. Marcus Ahikam stands at his own 40. There's his kick, nearly blocked. And this is going to be a very short kick. Going to go out of bounds at the Courtland 48-yard line. Maybe the special teams player of Courtland did get his hand on that football.
Could have. I mean, it looked like it. I see people, it's starting to rain. Tropical storm Ophelia. See, they're under tropical storm warnings here in Fredericksburg. We're not in Culpeper. But we're going to see impacts. So, all right, now Courtland's got how much time's left, Mark? 19?
13.
13. Coach J.C. Hall, he's just going to tell his kids, take a knee. Let's go into halftime. We're up 35. Get the ball back. And, you know, on a running clock. Or, you know.
Aiken in the gun. They're not going to do that. They're going to swing it out near side to number 19. That is Jamal Vick. And here is Vick going out of bounds at Culpeper territory at about the 42. Stops the clock with 3.6 seconds to play.
Yeah, well, Coach Hall does. You know what? I like that because you know how your team earns respect? You keep their foot on the gas. And, you know, you'd say, hey, to the other team, if you want to beat, let's, you know, play like it. But
yep. Coming up here in just a second could very well be the last play of this first half with 3.6 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. And it looks like Courtland has called a timeout.
First down.
All right. Well, our timeout sponsor is a UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial wellness of our members and the Culpeper community. That's UVAcreditunion.org. We mentioned that we are live, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556.
see what Courtland's going to do here on this play.
With 3.6 seconds showing on the clock, and you've got a 1st and 10 at the Culpeper 42. Let's see what Coach J.C. Hall and his staff draw up. Mentioned Charlie Aiken is your quarterback, number 12. He's a senior. In the gun this time on what will likely be the last play of the first half. He throws downfield. This one picked off by the Blue Devils, and that was number 1, Riley Lentz. And that should be how this first half ends.
Yep, it's an interception, but.
All right, well, that's it. Into the second quarter. Our score, Courtland 35, Culpeper nothing. All right, we'll take a break for the intermission, and when we come back for the start of the third quarter, it'll be Culpeper kicking off to Courtland. Stay tuned. You're watching Blue Devils football here on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community supporters.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Found in Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive. Nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of historical local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. UVA Health Culpeper Medical Center is here to care for you and your loved ones at our high-quality primary and specialty care locations right here in our community. Visit uvahealth.com for more information.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast. We're at halftime here at Courtland High School, where it is homecoming as well. Our score is 35-0. And moments away from starting the third quarter. Mark O'Connell, Steve Peacock, Johnny Krawchuk with you tonight. On behalf of the Culpeper Media Network, where the rain has come in, and not a lot of people in the stands as far as the visitors are concerned, but you see now that we're getting that rain that's been called for. All right, Steve, first half belonged to Courtland, really exclusively, 35-0, and they just, well, what can you say about them? Breaking down both teams, what did you like for Courtland, and what concerns you about Culpeper?
Everything concerns me about Culpeper. They can't block, can't tackle, can't score. I mean, they got to cross the 50 on versus the penalties. The whole, what is there to look anything positive in that first half? Not really. They're too banged up, and they're running an offense, I think, sometimes that just doesn't benefit their personnel a little bit, and because of the injuries. And that's what my take in Culpeper. Now, Courtland, they've done everything you've asked them. They've scored every possession, every time they've had possession of the football. And that's what good teams do. And so now you got the second half. It's going to be a running clock. That means that any incompletions or balls out of bounds, the clock does not stop. It runs when the opponent is down 35 points. Culpeper's problem is right now, I don't see they got their big back, Jakari Edwards, isn't able to play because of injury. And you've got the others are banged up. And you can really see it across the offensive and defensive lines, and that's where Courtland has really dominated tonight. They've dominated that offensive defensive line, and Culpeper just really hasn't had a chance. I don't have anything else good to say about the Blue Devils. Courtland's taking it to them.
And if you're Courtland, even when they had, say, poor field position, it was only temporary. They didn't really bat an eye with it. They just kept doing what they're doing.
Because Culpeper would give it up. They get a stop, and then all of a sudden, or a penalty, it looks like they're going to stop Courtland, and Courtland rips off a big third down. I remember it was, 3rd and 20? They got 25. They got a 3rd and 18. They got 19. I mean, they weren't afraid, and they weren't. And plus, I was also impressed that they were putting the ball in the air, too. But it's really –
well, you mentioned that 4 or 5 weeks, not almost the midway mark. Well, it really is the midway mark for Culpeper because they haven't had their bye week yet, and they're 0-4, and this is the 5th game. And after tonight, you're midway through the regular season.
Right.
You mentioned early on still that you can tell that this Battlefield district likely going to come down to who prevails between Eastern View, King George, and Courtland. So we're seeing Courtland in action tonight. We were getting some scores, some updates from friends as we were away. And one example, you mentioned King George, Steve. I don't know if they're that good or if JM is really having a down year or if it's a combination of both, but we had a final score that says King George 63, JM nothing.
Yeah, jeez.
And then we had a halftime score with Eastern View up over Caroline 10-7, and that one surprised
That surprised me. Caroline's, though, a better team, but it's gotten better, not better than Eastern View. That is surprising.
And then some other scores came in as well. Chancellor over Spotsylvania at the half, 18-8. Albemarle 13, Orange 6. So a lot of games in action. Now we mentioned King George, and they're really something to contend with. We've seen Eastern View. We know they have a very fine football team, and they had that close win last week against Brook Point, 34-33. Courtland, we're seeing them tonight in that wing T offense. I think that has caused the Culpeper defense some problems.
It sure has. They can't find the football, and it is really causing them problems. And see, when you look over here, like number 34 for Culpeper, he's out. That's Riley Vineyard, one of their good players. Number 33 is not Caleb Jenkins not playing tonight. So there's a lot of
and you've already mentioned Jakari Edwards.
Yep. and just not being able to have your starters out there. And basically, you got more, they call up some JV players to fill out the roster.
So as it stands right now, as we get ready to start the third quarter, and Culpeper will be kicking off to Courtland, that we'll have a continuously running clock unless the Blue Devils shave that 35-point
lead
differential. So we're talking about Culpeper playing at Courtland tonight, and of course, the crosstown rival for Culpeper is Eastern View. And what are they doing? They're playing Caroline at Eastern View, and if our report's accurate, that's a pretty tight ball game through the first half. Now, next week is September 29, and we plan to film the Culpeper-Caroline game next week. And that night, Eastern View will host North Stafford, the Wolverines. And North Stafford, as you mentioned, will be sort of a common opponent then for Culpeper and Eastern View for Courtland and Eastern View, because Courtland has played North Stafford and defeated the Wolverines. Mm-hmm. And of course, Courtland and Eastern View. Let's look ahead at the schedule, Steve. You talked about King George, Battlefield, King George, Courtland, and Eastern View as really the top contenders for Battlefield District. So, if you look at Eastern View's schedule, they played Culpeper, Westmoreland non-conference, Brook Point non-conference. Caroline is a conference game, playing them tonight. North Stafford next week, non-conference. But then after that, it's all conference or district, because they have James Monroe, Spotsylvania. King George is the big one on October 20th, and they're going to play it at Eastern View, right?
Yep.
Then after that, Chancellor, and then they finish the regular season against Courtland. So we're seeing Courtland tonight. But what do you know so far about Chancellor as far as their football team?
Well, they're not very good either. They haven't won a game, I don't think, and now they're up against Spotsylvania. And Spotsylvania is disappointing some because they all thought they were going to, have a better year, but they've been taking it on the chin. So I look at
Drop it like 2 inches.
I like way Chancellor is battled back right now against Spotsylvania. So, and they're not going to be an easy pushover. And the thing is, with this district, it's tough. Janesboro's down, Culpeper's down, but then again, you have, I think Caroline's one of the most improved teams of the district.
Culpeper's kickoff to start the third quarter goes out of bounds, and that'll mean likely that Courtland will take over on offense from its own 35.
Yep.
And to start the second half, Culpeper kicked off to Courtland. The Culpeper kick went out of bounds for a penalty.
All right, well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. Found & Sons at 825-3530. Also, Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. All right, here's the Courtland offense, Steve. They really sort of had their way in that first half. Let's see if they pick up where they left off, starting on their own 35. Ball carrier across the 40-45 midfield. In Culpeper territory, it is a running back for Courtland, number 23, and that is Laquan Chu.
First time we called his name. And you're going to see, different players of Courtland getting in the game, but again, I think Courtland wants to definitely get another score up here and leave no doubt that Culpeper can't come back and try to, get because it's a running clock.
Right, so 19-yard run for Laquan Chu. First and 10 Cougars at the Blue Devil 46. Handoff, running back right side 40, makes the cut. That is Chu again. And he's going to be tackled shy of the 30-yard line at about the 32. And look, about a 14-yard pickup there.
Yeah, again, it's just Courtland's got better athletes right now on the field versus Culpeper. Culpeper's got too many young guys up front. I mean, like Ricky Butler, 78, haven't called his. He's a ninth grader, looks like.
All right, now from the 32-yard line for the Cougars, first and 10. Johnson, handoff. Again, this is Chu, 25. Lowers his shoulder, forces him out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard line. And so picking up chunks of yardage on successive running plays, Steve.
Yep, and Courtland's not doing anything fancy. They're just running the football. And so, now the official the clock shouldn't be stopped unless it's a penalty. Unsportsmanlike.
Oh wow. Work against
It's go against Courtland. Unsportsmanlike. Probably said something right there on the sideline. You know, after the play had run out of bounds.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Cougars.
All right.
And they go back it up.
Reset here.
Yeah, they're still talking about it. Is it unsportsmanlike Cougars or unsportsmanlike Culpeper? And they offset. No, they're going to mark it off.
Sometimes a little unclear as to what the what direction the official's going to move in, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it's unsportsmanlike against Courtland. That's the only way Culpeper's been able to back up Courtland's penalties. That's a big one. They were down inside the red zone on that.
First and 10 for the Cougars, balls on the Culpeper 37-yard line.
All right. Seeing first and 10 from the 37 now. Charlie Aiken stays in there, hands off. This looks like Chew again. Almost looks like a replay from that last play, but I don't see any penalty flags down this time to move it back.
No, it's like I said, it's just no tackling by Culpeper. They're trying to arm tackle. Not going to tackle those running backs on arm tackle. You got to wrap up. They're not doing that, and they're just, I hate to say it, they're just going through the motions.
All right.
15, first and 10 for the Cougars.
Ball at the Culpeper 22. Courtland has a first down from that spot, and we are in the third quarter and experiencing a continuously running clock, so this one's going to go quickly. Straight ahead, the ball carrier, and I believe that was Olivella.
Just an old simple dive play on that wing T formation, and it's all good. You know, Culpeper's not doing a good job finding the football.
No, actually, it was Marcus LaRue, the ball carrier.
Okay.
Well, they really get a lot of different players. Like I said, you know, against North Stafford, so many running backs handle the football.
Yeah.
Well, in the wing T, you just never know, do you?
Yeah, and it's good. They're getting some of their backs. I haven't been able to see some action this year, some playing time. But again, Culpeper's not getting any penetration on the defensive line.
2nd and 3 now for the Cougars. Back to the run. Straight ahead they go. And this is Chew, I believe, Laquan Chew.
Marcus LaRue on the
Nope.
carry.
It's not. It's Marcus LaRue.
And we got a number 54 in for Culpeper, but not on the roster.
54?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're right.
We have one every game. I swear to God, it's been for like 20 years. We have a phantom player.
Down to the 30-yard line. First and goal, Cougars here. They keep it on the run, coming near side. Now making a cut and trying to get to the goal line. Can't quite do it. They stop him at about the 1, and that was number 23, Laquan Chew. Bring up 2nd and goal.
And number 54, he was in on there too, and just.
For Culpeper.
Yeah. Probably a JV player that was called up.
Ball at the 1. Clock running, 8:05 to go. Third quarter action, 35-0. That was our score at the intermission. Courtland took this opening third quarter drive here and into the end zone from 1 yard out. It's Marcus LaRue. And at 41-0 now in favor of the Cougars with 7:56 to play here in this third quarter. All right. Well, where did this drive start? On its Courtland at its own 35.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Because the kick was out of bounds, remember?
Right. On for the point after. That'll be Connor Olson and the holder. Quarterback Charlie Aiken. Snap, the hold, the kick. Looks like it does clear that crossbar, and it's 42-0. 7:56 to play in the third. All right. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by UVA Health, Culpeper Medical Center. Here to care for you and your loved ones at our quality primary and specialty care locations right here in our community. Learn more at uvahealth.com. Also, CFC Farm and Home Center, the service, knowledge, and products you need for your farm, home, Pets, Livestock, and Equine. Since 1932, that's CFC Farm and Home Center.
Well, you know, now if you're a Culpeper, well, what would you do? You're down 42-0, running clock. You want to try to see if your guys can have any type of offense, see if they can try to bring a score here against Courtland.
But you know what, Steve? Even though it's been a continuously running clock, we still have about 8 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Yep, that's true. I mean, it's
Courtland used, I guess, you know, about 4 minutes, 4 minutes and 4 seconds of that third quarter opening drive in the third. Keep it on the ground here. This one fielded and pounced on actually at the 28.
by number 49 or 48.
49 is Michael Jackson.
Because we got two
Or
49s.
Grant, yeah, Soderholm, right.
So there's their story of our phantom player. But anyway.
Are you saying will the real number 49 or 48 please stand up?
Yep.
Please stand up.
Please stand up.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what Culpeper can do here.
And the clock is running. Culpeper on offense here for the first time here in the third. And they'll start at their own 28. Ball carrier slung down, loss on the play, and that was number 4, Jack Lehman for Culpeper. Steve, running game really just hasn't been there to speak of tonight for the Blue Devils.
It's like the Courtland's a step faster every play than Culpeper is, and you know, like I said, I knew they had injuries and everything, but it's really taking its toll on this team. And I know Coach Sherry don't want to be using injuries as an excuse, but tonight, you know, got called like it is. They're just not playing very well.
And a lot of the ball carriers are really getting hit in the backfield. Second and 13.
Well, you got no blocking up front.
Here's the toss. This one a little squirrely, but brought down by Marcus Ihecum, but he lost yardage and making the tackle for Courtland there and celebrating with number 6, Adam Meek. We mentioned his name several times in that first half. And loss of yardage back to the 22 or 21. Loss 4 brings up 3rd and 17.
Yeah, I mean, Culpeper's got to take care of that football. You don't want to fumble it or lose it down here.
3rd and 18 for the Blue Devils, falls on there in 21.
Clock running, approaching the 6-minute mark here in the third. It's been all Cougars tonight at Courtland High School, up 42-0. As Jeremiah Johnson and the company face a 3rd and 17 from their own 21. This one nets nothing as the ball carrier dropped right at the line of scrimmage. And that was Jeremiah Johnson, quarterback keeper. Brings up 4th and long, and Marcus Ihecum likely would drop back in punt formation.
Yeah, they got
this one away.
They got to punt this, and there won't be any fake punt here.
But Ihecum, number 28, not in the game at the moment.
They got another.
They're using a different punter?
Could be 85 or 65. It's like 80.
Is it 65?
I can't see. It's going to be outside, though, against Courtland. 85. No, 65. 65.
I'm afraid he didn't make the list either, Steve.
Those are the JV players that must have been caught up.
Pushes Culpeper up 5 yards.
Yeah, the clock doesn't run again. It's good. Instead of 4th and 17, it's 4th and 13.
27, okay. Going to kick this one away. And this one's going to go out of bounds near midfield. All right, Courtland Cougars offense back on the field momentarily here. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371. And the referee there just signaled start the clock.
Yeah.
It's running, 4:50 and counting. Third quarter action.
All right, Mark. So Well, we got some few things to talk about. How you been following any baseball?
Not really. Have you?
No. I know Baltimore has clinched a playoff spot. They're like that.
New quarterback in for Courtland, Steve.
Okay.
We'll probably see some other changes in personnel. But one of the things we're not seeing a change in is just the hard running and picking up chunks of yardage pretty much at will by these running backs.
Yep. And just running with will. I mean, they're you can't tell your second string, third string not to score. They're going to play hard. Culpeper's got to expect that.
So I think we'll pick up some changes. I believe it was number 15 replacing Charlie Aiken, the quarterback, Zion Minor.
Number 20 just came in for Courtland, too.
All right, we haven't called his name. That's Jaden Young. No, actually, so under center now, looks like it's number 25, Chieftain Watson. It's an interesting name, isn't it? Chieftain?
Yep. Well, now the officials are stopping the clock. What's for this? All right, now they're starting it back up.
So number changes, player changes here. Chieftain Watson, number 25, under center for Courtland. Handoff, ball carrier, right side. Breaking a tackle, headed to the end zone. It is Marcus LaRue from 34 yards. Another touchdown for Courtland. Makes it 48-0 with 3:28 to play. And the onslaught continues.
It sure does. It sure does. I mean, Culpeper just wishes this game could get over and they won't get in the bus and go home. I mean, it's bad.
All right, 48-0 with 3:28 to play. And now on for the point after. Be Connor Olson, the holder. Charlie Aiken, low snap, gets it down. This kick is short, and looks like it went into that mass formation there. It may have even been blocked, but it's no good. Not going to hurt the Courtland Cougars any. Up 48-0
No,
here.
it sure isn't.
With 3:28 to play here in the third.
And it's like, you just hate to see this. It's just, Culpeper had such high hopes starting the season that they were going to be able to make some noise, and injuries and sickness and some suspensions.
And it's certainly a huge thing to consider, sort of the number of players that they don't have suited up tonight.
Yeah, I know that, and there's got to be someone to get the athletes out to Culpeper to come play football. I mean, I know Mister's going to do a good job, Mr. Jennings, on the basketball team, but Culpeper's got athletes that are just not coming out to play. And
Steve, you look across the way there.
See, there's number 6, Chikari, right there.
Mm-hmm.
He's hurt. Number 5 is out too. That's Jacarius Williams, JQ. He's out. So there's a lot of people injured over there.
Little wonder then that Marcus Ahi comes at his chance to run the ball some. Here's the kickoff.
It's going to be right there, Culpeper.
Number 23 for Culpeper. Tennessee Norman. All right. Well, did you know, Steve, that nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame? Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving. Respectful local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF. All right. Let's see if we see any personnel changes on the Blue Devils side of things.
Let's see here. Looks like Jeremiah is still the quarterback.
Sure is. Jeremiah Johnson. Man in motion there is Jack Lehman. Lehman comes around for the football.
And see, these reserves they want to keep the shutout too, so they're going to be playing hard, and Culpeper's got to recognize that. I know it's raining, I know the wind's blowing, and they just can't use that as an excuse.
All
right, no gain. 2nd and 10. Blue Devils from the 25. Clock running. 2:25 to go. Third quarter action. You know the score. 48-0. It's been all Courtland, and a lot of reserve players in the game. And we'll see some. That'll be true for the Blue Devils as well. All right, Steve, this ball carrier gets the push.
It's like one scrum pile moving one side and the other scrum pile going the other way. Student body. Right. Let's everybody get on it.
I think that was Keyshawn Tyler running the ball.
See, and Courtland's substituting at will right now, and they should. I mean, they're getting some players, getting some valuable playing time.
Yeah, like we said, this continuously moving clock. This one really gets away from you.
And see, Culpeper doesn't have that outside threat. The speed guy they could try to throw it and get a ball to. They just don't have it.
From the 28, whistle and a stoppage. And so some of the players that we're seeing now, Steve, in the backfield, number 22, papers flying here with the wind. Keyshawn Tyler in the backfield for the Blue Devils. He wears number 22. Number 26, Blake Burke is in the game. Number 15, we mentioned earlier, Dalton Butler, went down with an injury just momentarily in that first half.
Cody Lewis, number 64. It's 3rd and 1. There's a 5-yard penalty offside against Cougars. That's 3rd and 1. So they'll probably use 2 downs here.
Jack Lehman is in the game. He wears number 4. Keyshawn Tyler, 22. Johnson straight ahead, ball carrier, and the push moves it out to about midfield. And it should be enough for a Blue Devil first down.
That's the first down I think the Blue Devils have earned all game, Mark, from the line of scrimmage.
Ball now at the Culpeper 40. And the clock runs approaching the 30-second mark of this 3rd quarter. Let's see, coming near side for the Blue Devil receivers, Blake Burke. Jeremiah Johnson, the quarterback under center. Man in motion is Garrett Damewood. He gets the toss. Here's Damewood looking for a little running lane, and he won't find any, as corralling him almost immediately was number 6, Adam Meek. And, Meek has had a pretty good ball game on that defensive side of the football for Courtland.
Yep. And, Mark, I was going to make an observation here. Damewood stopped running. When he gets around that corner, he's got to lower his shoulders and go forward. He pulled up. I know he wanted to try to think he could, juke by the defender. He couldn't because Courtland had him hemmed in. He has a sideline. Courtland was using that sideline as an extra defender. Run hard. You hit that corner of that hole, you run hard. You don't run standing up or stopping.
Looks like they, I think, assessed a penalty against Courtland here.
No, it's
here he comes right here, the man in the white hat.
Oh, is the quarter over?
No, it says 12.3 seconds showing. I believe that's a personal foul against Courtland, Steve, where they're marking this one off. Look, all the way down to the Courtland 45. That makes sense. It was at the Culpeper 40.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I still hadn't seen the call.
All right, now they go back to run the clock, and now the 3rd quarter has expired.
Yep.
Here at Courtland High School, where it is, Cougars 48, Blue Devils nothing. We'll take a quick break and come back for the 4th and final segment right after this. Stay tuned. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community supporters.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Found in Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive. Nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of historical local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. UVA Health Culpeper Medical Center is here to care for you and your loved ones. Our high-quality primary and specialty care locations right here in our community. Visit uvahealth.com for more information.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast and the fourth quarter. A couple plays into it, Blue Devils have moved from the Courtland 45 down to the 37. And that's where it's going to be. Third down and about 3 right here.
Yeah, you're just tuning in, Mark, the viewers just tuning in. Courtland's using their reserves right now, and they should be. They're up 48-0 and going against Culpeper. And Culpeper's going to try to put a drive, get on the scoreboard, and get off the schneid.
3rd and 3 right here for the Blue Devils from the Cougar 37-yard line. Jeremiah Johnson remains the quarterback, hands off the running back, tackled immediately, and that was number 44, Alexander Rivas for Culpeper.
And number 7 for Courtland.
For making the tackle, you mean?
Yep, number 7 for Courtland.
Bruce Rinker. No gain.
4th down.
Yep, 4th and 3. Remember, this clock is going to go quickly.
Yep.
9:45 and counting, fourth quarter. Johnson under center. Courtland showing pressure, trying to get him to jump.
He didn't jump across. But they're going to go for it. They have to.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
They're trying to draw him off.
See who they go to here. Well, we're going to have a whistle. All right. Well, a little mark that off as we tell you this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. Found & Sons, 825-3530. Also, Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles.
Well, Mark, what was the penalty? They moved it way back. I never saw the penalty call. It wasn't just offsides. I mean, or legal procedure Culpeper. Wasn't a hold. Could have been.
Delay of game?
Well, that, but still more than 5 yards. That's
Did
only
they move it
5
more than
yards.
5?
Yeah.
Pretty close. I've got 4th and 8 from the 43.
Okay, maybe it was just 5.
But so you know that the Blue Devils would love to finally get into that end zone tonight.
Yeah, they would.
But it won't be easy. Although Courtland, as you said, all those reserve players then.
Yeah, but they want, like I said, they want to.
4th and 8 from the 43. Here's the pitch. Running back, trapped in the backfield again. Drew several gray jerseys, and they tackled him for a loss. And that was for Culpeper, number 44, Alexander Rivas. And that'll turn the ball over on downs. Courtland's offense back on the field, and that's been they've done a lot of good things here tonight offensively.
It's just that Courtland's a lot quicker, Mark. You can see it. They've got a quicker first step, and it just their athletes proved to be better than Culpeper's on tonight. But you know what? This team will learn. To go down and be defeated, you got to go before you go to the top. You got to hit the bottom, and I think right now Culpeper's getting there. So you can only go from up top.
Replacing Charlie Aiken at quarterback here recently has been number 25, Chieftain Watson.
Chief.
Wow, freshman. Under center for the Cougars.
Call him Chief.
Hand off. Here comes the running back near side. Culpeper territory, slung down at about the 45-yard line was Justin Aponte. Injured Blue Devil down. That's number 50. A little shaken up. That's Tyreek Smith. And a penalty flag down at the 45-yard line.
See what the call is. Well, it's going to be against Courtland. Could be a blindside block.
All right, well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473.
I don't know what these officials are doing. It was a penalty, then it is hold. No. what's a hold, and he went like this and this.
Yeah, to the chest.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that call. The holding's
Yeah.
obvious.
Cougar penalty on the last play, 1st and long now for Courtland. Falls on their own 37-yard line.
And see, Courtland's going to take its time.
Yep. And speaking of time, it goes quickly under these circumstances.
Sure does.
All right. So under center is the freshman Chieftain Watson. Handoff over the right side. This running back's got some room. He's breaking a tackle, being hard to bring down. Just doesn't want to go down. He's down to about the 30-yard line. And that is Marcus LaRue.
It just looks like men against boys, Mark. It really does. You can see how strong LaRue was, and Culpeper couldn't bring him down. And
well, you figure he got 13 and 21, 34 yards on that carry.
The last 14 had people on his back.
Yeah, carrying the load, refusing to go down. Now Courtland has it 1st and 10 at the Culpeper 29-yard line.
As Dandy Dunn used to say, warm up the bus.
But don't turn out the lights yet. Steve, don't forget to turn out the lights. On the jet sweep here is number 15. It is Zion Minor.
That's going to be a hold against Courtland.
All right. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. Also, nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving respectful local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF.
All right, there's a illegal procedure against Courtland and holding, and they're going to take the. Why they didn't accept the hold? They accepted the legal procedure.
Back to the run they go. Straight ahead the ball carrier. This time we got a new jersey to call. It's number 22, Steve Garland, his first carry of the night.
And who is for Culpeper? And then down there it looks like a number 12. It'd be Jaden Carter.
Jaden Carter.
Who else have we haven't called? Pretty much in there right now is 46 for Culpeper. Tyler Clavoy or Savoy.
No, that's a name we haven't called all season. All right, this time the runner is Courtland's number 7. That is Bruce Rinker.
Again, like I said, it's a running clock. And Culpeper right now, is trying to get some playing time, some of his reserves, and they're going to have to regroup, Mark, and just figure out what they're going to do the rest of the season. Because it is bad. It's hard on the kids. I know it is, and no one likes to lose every game. But every game we've been involved in broadcasting Culpeper has been a running clock. Do you know that?
Well, was it that way against Fauquier?
Oh, yeah, at one point. They scored.
Well, here's the ball carrier for Courtland, number 29, getting into the mix there.
Folks, go ahead and get out your 50-50
that would be
tickets.
Aiden Nutter. Little guy, 5'8", 134 pounds.
No, you're right. They didn't do it against Fauquier, you're right. But
I don't have the cash prize total in front of me, but
well, we mentioned we are live sponsor, Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. 440 and counting here. Here comes Watson. After he switches direction, Watson makes a cut, gets inside the 5-yard line, down to about the 3. And Courtland, once again, threatening to score.
Yeah, what happened there, Mark? Courtland ran, saw it, and too many of Culpeper's players on defense pinched in, and the quarterback realized, hey, I've got the whole left side wide open. So he was able.
Tonight's 50-50. If you have the winning ticket, please go to the front of the
clock runs. 4:10 moving here. Courtland High School. Cougars on top 48-0 and threatening to only add to their lead. And this time it's the ball carrier, number 22, Steve Garland, gets into the end zone from 3 yards out. Touchdown, Courtland. Said that a few times here tonight. 54-0 here's our score with 3:58 to play in the fourth.
See if they're going to try for 2 or they're going to field goal. I mean, point after.
Looks like they'll go conventional point after, and that means Connor Olson. And the holder remains Charlie Aiken. He's given away under center to his teammate Chieftain Watson here in this second half. This kick is up and good.
Just barely gets over, but it's good. Hey, it won't win any style points, put it that way.
Yep. Well, what do you think? Looking ahead, we're going to see Culpeper again next week, Steve, down at Caroline High School.
Yep, that'll be
September 29th. And then Eastern View, in action tonight against Caroline, will be hosting North Stafford. Yep.
I'd like to have an update of that Caroline Eastern View score.
Well, let's see. Yeah. See if we've got anything coming in here. Let's see. Looking for a EV score. And it's Caroline. Getting some college scores coming in, courtesy of Dave Richardson, Steve.
Yeah, what's Virginia doing?
Looks like are they playing NC State?
Yep.
NC State 14, UVA 7 at the half.
Okay, that's at Charlottesville.
And then
Well, Big Dave could come up with the Eastern View score.
let's see what we got here. You know about King George beating JM 63-0. Halftime, Louisa 14, Western Albemarle 7. Halftime, Albemarle 13, Orange 6. Halftime, Fort Defiance 24, Madison 7. In the final, Sharando 35, Liberty 0.
Wow.
Could that be the Liberty of Bilton? Bilton, yeah.
Yep.
All right. All right. Here's the pitch to Culpeper's
Number
Jack Lehman.
Jack Lehman, and like I said, it's now, how much time left?
3:20 and counting.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get to our viewing audience an update on the Eastern View score. Only thing we had was 10-7.5. Eastern View.
Okay. Our listeners listening. Our scouts out there, Steve.
Yep, I'm trying.
Our reporters. All right, back on offense. Culpeper goes to the run. And this is number 44 of Culpeper, Alexander Rivas.
Yep. Right now, I mean, Culpeper's just going to run the plays, and you know, like I said, they're going to have to regroup. They got a tough game coming up next week against Caroline. Caroline's not going to be an easy team. They're only down. Oh no, the big penalty against Culpeper. What was the call? Huh. Again, I didn't see the call, but there was obviously a penalty. There might have been a hold against Culpeper.
As the clock continues to run, 2:30 and counting. Blue Devils now from their own 42. Handoff Rivas up the middle to the 45. Pick up a 3.
They just don't have the speed in the running back area. They just don't have that one guy or two guys that they know can go make a play. And that's what
Playmakers.
Yep.
All right, here's Jeremiah Johnson. A little miscommunication, a little bumping into each other in the backfield, and Johnson kept it. picked up only a yard on the play. And the clock continues to run, 1:25 to play.
Okay, folks, we didn't
Our
have a
score,
55
55-0 in favor of Courtland.
So we're gonna draw again. If you still have your
Talked about
tickets,
some other
you may
games in
not, but
action,
if you
and
still have them, please pull them out.
Dave Richardson is working on that score for us.
Second number is 93.
Interested in the Eastern View Caroline status. All right, from the 45 now.
11409.
Johnson fakes it, keeps it,
By chance you have
and
the
that
winning
might
ticket.
be Culpeper's longest run of the night. A fumble into that was picked up and advanced forward by Culpeper's Johnson's teammate there, number 56, Jaden Hendrickson.
Yep.
Steve, that I think was their longest run from scrimmage tonight.
Scrimmage right there. And the fumble gave him another couple yards. And since he didn't deliberately fumble it forward, they'll give it to him.
Wow. Clock running 40 seconds and counting here in this fourth and final quarter. It went quick, didn't it? But it looks like we're going to have a timeout taken by Culpeper. And I'll tell you that our timeout sponsor is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial wellness of our members and of the Culpeper community. That's UVAcreditunion.org. I also want to revisit three of our other sponsors, Steve. This broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. Also, UVA Health, Culpeper Medical Center is here to care for you and your loved ones at our quality primary and specialty care locations right here in our community. Learn more at uvahealth.com.
And see, Culpeper was going to try. I think they're going to try to throw this one.
All right.
And see if he can.
From the Courtland 42, Johnson under center. Going to roll to his left, going to keep it, makes a cut, and fights for additional yardage down close to the 30-yard line. And a Blue Devil first down, and they stop the clock with 11.8 seconds to play.
Yeah, they want to try to score here.
Do they stop it to move the sticks? And then, yeah, they do, and then they resume it.
Yep.
So now we're down to the last 5 seconds. A whistle again, this stops it.
And Culpeper took a timeout.
All right, so looks like we'll, after the timeout, perhaps have time just for one play.
Yep.
And we'll all be out of here.
Here it is. It's going right now.
All right. From the 30. Clock running. They may not get the play off. And they don't. That sound signals the end of this one. So this one goes in the books as a huge Courtland win. Cougars win it 55-0. See, we've talked about it all game. Culpeper's problems and the things that Courtland did well. And now the Blue Devils have to make that long road trip to Caroline next week.
Yeah, they do. And hopefully they'll have some players back from injury, but Culpeper's got a lot to redo. They got a lot to think about.
All right. Enjoyed calling the game with you tonight. For Johnny and Steve, I'm Mark O'Connell saying thanks for watching and supporting Blue Devils football here on the Culpeper Media Network. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we plan to see you next Friday from Caroline High School. Until then, so long.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community supporters.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Found in Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive. Nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of historical local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M. From grass to trees, they aim to please. UVA Health Culpeper Medical Center is here to care for you and your loved ones at our high-quality primary and specialty care locations right here in our community. Visit uvahealth.com for more information.